Everything you're seeing right now, this YouTube player, those likes going up, all of it is AI generated. And I can just step out of it. Everything in this video, every animation, every graphic was generated by OpenMontage, the trendiest repo on GitHub. Even the background music. Listen, this is generated too. These captions you are reading, also OpenMontage. Actually, the only thing here that is not generated is me, and it knows that. So, what is this thing? 36,000 stars. And look at the curve, basically a vertical line. Number one trending on GitHub, all over my feed. I can put this video anywhere it wants, even inside an old TV. It can't fly me to Paris, but it can animate the trip. And my total media cost for everything you have seen so far, it's $0. It's running locally on my machine. When you open this repo, it looks overwhelming, over 1,000 files. But it's really 5 things. 1, instruction files, plain markdown that teaches your AI agent every job in video production. Think of it like a training manual for an employee you haven't hired yet. 2 is pipelines, 12 of them. The recipes, explainer, talking head, documentary, step by step. 3 is tools, about 50 little Python scripts. These are, think of it as hands. 4, render engines. It's writing real code for every scene you have watched. It can fake entire interfaces, Apple's glass widgets, a terminal, all of it. And 5, and this is a very important part, there is no brain in the box. No large language model inside the repo. So your coding agent reads the manuals, follows the recipes, uses a tool, but then you bring the LM, or you can call it the employee. So by the end of the video, you will be able to do all of this yourself. You will be able to install it, run different prompts, and edit your own videos. All right, so a real quick disclaimer before we get into it, all opinions are my own and do not belong to my employer. And of course, this video is not at all sponsored and nobody's paying me for this. All right, let's get into it. All right, so what we're going to do right now is go through each step that is required for you to be able to run OpenMontage and go ahead and edit your video. Okay. So what we're going to do now is get your machine ready from scratch. So you basically need 3 things in order for this to work to begin with, right? So number 1 is Python, second is Node, and the third one is FFmpeg, okay? And so I'm using Windows machine, and this is a terminal. You can use the PowerShell, but I'm inside Antigravity because I like to also show you the files. I'm on the IDE side of Antigravity, okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install Python. You may already have this on your machine, but I'm trying to make sure that if anybody is really starting from scratch, these are exactly the steps that you will need to follow. Okay, so we'll give it a second for it to complete. And then once that is done, we will also install Node, which is for the rendering, right? So you also need something which can render. So Node becomes the render engine. All right, so this is installed now. Let's install Node. As I mentioned before, this is for rendering. It looks like I already have the package installed because I already ran it, right? That's that. Then the third one is FFmpeg. Again, I already have this installed because I ran the previous video, but these are the 3 commands that you will need to run. The next step will be really to go ahead and clone the repo. So I'm in this particular folder and I'm going to clone the repo directly inside this, right? So this is git clone, and this is the particular GitHub repository for OpenMontage. What it is doing right now is it is cloning all the particular files from there, right? So it has done that already. And then let's open this just for you to see what is inside this. And then you can see that these are all the different files that we have already copied, right? So that means now we have cloned the repo as well. And then what we will do is we will now create a Python environment so that this stays isolated from everything else on your machine, right? So this is the command for creating a Python environment, and then we're going to activate this now, okay? Please feel free to stop the video, pause the video so that you can follow each one of this, okay? Now, the first thing that you will need to do is you will need to install the requirements which are part of the OpenMontage library. This will take a little bit of a time depending on whether you have installed it previously or not. So it has installed it. Now let's proceed to the next steps. All right. So now that we have installed it, we are going to go into the render engine itself, which is the render folder, which is Remotion. So we are going to now do the installation there. And then once that is done, we can also install the pre-local voice engine, which is Piper, right? So you can see that this is a combination of multiple things put together. You're seeing Remotion right now. You will also now see Piper. And now we are going to install the voice. And this is the free local voice engine. If you want to use the paid version, you can also use 11 Labs on this. Okay. All right. So once this is done, you can actually copy the config file so that you don't need to actually put a single key in it. And that's the beauty of it, because I mentioned this during the video as well, right? That you don't need to actually spend any dollars. The only dollar that you are spending is the brain, which is the large language model, right? So in this case, you will see what I mean by that, because I will ask Gemini to actually follow the instructions and stuff like that. And that is the only dollar that you would be spending. So if you use like Gemini 3.6 Flash, it'll be very fast. Okay. So that was the whole install. Very short amount of time. It probably will take you like less than 10 minutes or maybe like less than 5 minutes, depending on the speed of your machine, and zero API keys, right? Everything I'm about to show you ran at $0 locally on this machine, minus the cost of the large language model API calls. Okay. So the next piece would be for us to record the clip live. Okay. I'm going to record a fresh clip right now. One take, no edit, and then we will hand it to the agent together and watch what comes back. Okay. So here it goes. Okay. Quick story. I have made about 120 videos on this channel. And here is the math nobody tells you. Every 1 minute of me talking cost about 10 minutes of editing. And the editing is the part that feels like a second job. Not the ideas, not the recording, the cutting, the captions, the graphics. That's the grind. So that's what I'm going to hand to the agent right now. This particular clip, the one which you're right now, which I'm recording. That's it, right? So one take raw, and I'm going to hand it over. All right. So what we will do is I'm going to stop the video now, extract this output as an MP4, and then I'll come back and show you how I can upload this. And then we'll show you what are the next steps. Okay. All right, so you can see that now I have got the recording actually uploaded in this particular folder. I'm in Antigravity, so I'm just going to now talk to my agent, right? So I'm going to tell that my footage is this. Let me start with a bad prompt, right? Add cool graphics to my video. And that is something which you should not be doing, okay? But let's see what it comes back with. So you can see that it is actually going through all of the different things. It is adding the remotion skills and all of the things that is part of the OpenMontage. It's extracting the transcript. I'll be interested in showing that to you. But since we gave it such a vague ask, right, add cool graphics to my video, this is the classic definition of AI slop, right? This is where you are asking the AI to do whatever it wants to do versus having you being in control. All right, looks like it has done the job, and you can see that it has completed, then it has applied whatever it felt like applying, right? So let's look at what the output looks like. Quick story. I have made about 120 videos on this channel. And here is the math nobody tells you. Every 1 minute of me talking cost about 10 minutes of editing. And the editing is the part that feels like a second job. Not the ideas, not the recording, the cutting, the captions, the graphics. That's the grind. So that's what I'm going to hand to the agent right now. This particular clip, the one which you're right now, which I'm recording. That's it, right? So one take raw, and I'm going to hand it over. All right. So you saw it's interesting, but there is certainly a lot of room for improvement. So what we're going to do now is we are going to give it a bit more detailed command, right? So I'm going to start a new chat. I'm going to give it a prompt like this, which is my footage is this. Read the agent skills motion skills.md in its catalog first and tell me which registry blocks will you use. Basically, I'm going to ask it to give me an entire plan, right? Like roughly every 5 seconds, maybe, because this is just a 31 seconds. So I'm going to ask it to add like some sort of motion graphics every 5 seconds. So now that we have given it a little bit more detail, it should do a much better job. It should give us an implementation plan so that we are able to also provide our own inputs. It's less of an AI slop and more of a controlled version of the output. And there you go, right? So this is the beautiful implementation plan. It is telling what exactly visual concept, the math concept, the spoken number, abstract editing skills, AI agent handoff, and stuff like that, right? So once you've done that, go ahead and proceed. Again, this is Gemini 3.6 Flash. It is very fast, very optimized. So it is not going to cost you much. in terms of the dollars spent. So you have to be very careful in choosing the right model. If you select models that have more thinking, if you select like Fable and stuff like that, this entire thing could cost a lot. But you need to be careful in selecting the right models, which are supposedly going to do faster job, because the editing and everything is happening via OpenMontage, which is free, right? So that's what I would recommend. So let's give it a few seconds and then we'll come back after seeing what it produces. Quick story. I have made about 120 videos on this channel. And here is the math nobody tells you. Every 1 minute of me talking costs about 10 minutes of editing. And the editing is the part that feels like a second job. Not the ideas, not the recording, the cutting, the captions, the graphics. That's the grind. So that's what I'm going to hand to the agent right now. This particular clip, the one which you're right now, which I'm recording. So one take raw, and I'm going to hand it over. All right. This was pretty cool. This is a huge improvement from what we saw before, right? So this is why I was saying that it's a good idea to provide a detailed prompt. And as you can see, you can keep on providing much more detailed prompt and you will get an implementation plan. And in the implementation plan, you can also see that it has identified exactly the timestamps, the time ranges and stuff like that. And you can ask it to change. So it took me some time to make multiple changes to get the video, the hero video that you saw before, but it is absolutely possible. And that's why I wanted to show you exactly live how I did it with all the commands and prompt, etc. So hopefully this helps and you're able to leverage this in order to optimize your video editing skills and improve your productivity. If you are new here, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, if you're an existing one, please hit that like button as well. And as always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.